how's everyone doing? Yeah, we doing good? How's the falafel? Great, very good. Okay. Let's start a little story. A little story is told. The story is told of an elderly couple in Florida. And the man, the husband, picks up the phone and he calls his son in New York. And he calls him up and he says, Jacob, you should know, after 40 years of marriage to your mother, we're getting a divorce. I'm sick and tired. I can't look at her for one more second. We're finished. It's over. And don't argue with me. Nothing. We're finished. I can't stand another minute with her. You call your sister in Chicago and tell her we're divorce is finished. The phone. 5 minutes later, the phone rings back in Florida. It's the daughter from Chicago. She says, Dad, don't you think about it. Don't you dare. Don't do anything. Me and my brother are on our way. We will be in Florida tomorrow. No divorce over my dead body. No way. We'll be until I get there. I answer the phone, looks at the wife and says, well, the kids are coming for the holidays. And they're paying for their own airfare. The holidays are here. Those are the holidays. Passover. It's Passover, and those who want to try to seduce their kids or their parents to come, now's the time. We're coming to that time of Passover. Now, I want to get into the Passover spirit. So the question I want to ask you is, when you think about Passover, Pesach, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Matzah.
Matzah and cleaning. Very good. Seder, that's good, that's good. But a lot of people think of matzah and cleaning, right? Cleaning has a very weird sort of experience for us. Now, I want to talk about the cleaning a little bit tonight because we're cleaning, getting rid of the leaven. We're getting rid of the chametz, the leaven. And the thing is that I don't know if you've experienced this, but we get maybe a little bit obsessive about it. I don't know. I mean, we're very into it. In Jewish law, it's considered that you guys are in Jewish law, it's considered at least it wasn't leaven on it, you know. At least it wasn't leaven. Right? In Jewish law, the thing is that you try to go and get rid of every last drop. Okay. And the question is, people sometimes get very into it, and amazing in Jewish law it says that a person really is obsessed with it, you shouldn't make fun of them. And I remember when this is a true story, I was living in Israel. I remember we lived in an apartment building in Israel, and I remember it was right before Passover, and we're in the middle of Jerusalem. There's no beaches in the middle of Jerusalem. And I saw this family with a bunch of kids, and I saw that the kids were all dressed in bathing suits. And they were walking around the apartment buildings with their bathing suits and these little buckets. I'm like, what is going on? And then I see, this is a true story, the mother takes the fire hose from the building and she starts spraying the walls, and the kids are bailing out the house. I said, oh my gosh, okay. This has gone a little bit overboard here. So what I want you to understand tonight is, there's a simple reason why we clean. The simple reason is, we all know the simple reason is, the Jews left quickly from Egypt. We had no time for the matzah to rise. We left fast. And what happens is, now God said no leaven, no bread during Passover, get rid of it. So we get rid of it. And the sages say, since you're so used to bread all year, get rid of it all. Because if you have a little bit, you're going to maybe end up eating it. That's a simple reason. And I want to get to the deeper reason tonight. So the first question I'm asking is, why are we so obsessed with getting rid of the leaven, the bread? That's the first. I'm going to put it up over here. So you're going to have to remember it. Okay? Question 1 is, what should we call it? Obsession. Thank you. Obsession with bread. Comments, right? Cleaning. Okay, can everyone see that? Obsession with bread. That's the question 1. Okay. Now, the reality is, what's interesting also is that on Passover, we know we don't eat bread, we only eat matzah. One thing is very interesting also to note, that in the temple that used to be in Jerusalem, all the service that was done, all the service that was done in the temple were done when they had to have a bread thing, they used matzah. Except one time, there was one communal service that was not done with matzah, it was done with bread. Okay, insignificant. What is that? That was what? Right. That was the holiday from Passover. When we left Egypt as Passover, 49 days we go in the desert till we get the Torah on Mount Sinai. On that holiday, the holiday of Shavuot, the holiday of getting the Torah, that service in the temple was always done with bread. It's a little bit weird. Why is everything eating matzah on Passover? All of the services that were done in the temple when they did the offerings and things was always matzah. One exception was not Passover, but when the culmination of Passover, the 49 days later, we get the Torah, all of a sudden, bread. Bread's okay now. Bread's off limits now, bread is great. My second question is why? Question is, why bread? Okay, what's your call? Why bread is okay in the holiday of Shavuot, which is the culmination of Passover. Passover, we leave Egypt. 49 days, we get to Mount Sinai, we get the Torah. That day is the day that all the service was done with bread and not with matzah. Okay? I've got my two questions here. Okay? First question, the obsession. Get rid of all the chametz. Shoot the walls down. Right? Question one. And question two is, how come, I understand matzah. Okay, we're having matzah for some reason on Passover. We understand a little bit. And all the things in the temple were done with matzah. But one time a year, at the end of Passover, after we left Egypt, 49 days later, culminates with getting the Torah. That holiday, the service was all done with bread. Why? These are my two questions. But I'm going to put them on the side. Okay? We'll come back to them. Because we're going to take a slight detour now. Okay? Leave the question on the side, we're getting a little detour now. A small issue we have to deal with. The issue is as follows. It's a very minor detail. The question I want to ask you is, what is the purpose of life? A small detail. Very small. I kind of want to hear what you think about that. What's that? Deep bread. That works at the bakery. What are we doing here? This is, I'm being facetious, but it's, what are we doing here? This is the most important question. You could have a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD, and you never have this question answered.